welcome you to our 30th annual Academic Awards program. Tonight we will honor the dedication to excellence and academic achievements that these students at Ravenna High School have accomplished. I would like to thank our honored guests for attending. Mr. Dennis Honkala, Superintendent, right there. Mr. Bill Wisniewski, the Director of Business Operations. And Mrs. Susan Huth, Director of Teaching and Learning, grades 6 through 12. Appreciation is extended to the RHS Assistant Principals, Mrs. Coleman and Mr. Lane, and certainly our guidance counselors, Ms. Giddens, Mrs. Gretz, and Ms. Ford. And I extend my thanks to our faculty members who accepted invitations to present to our third-year academic award winners. And finally, tremendous gratitude is offered to our Ravenna High School Main Office Secretary, Mrs. Kaiser, for all her time and efforts in getting the program and making sure that all is well this evening. The purpose of tonight's program is to acknowledge students who have earned a 3.0 in the previous school year. To our RHS students being honored this evening, I congratulate you and your families on this outstanding accomplishment. Parents and guardians, we appreciate that you have allowed us to be a part of your child's life and that you have expected excellence and the best that your child could provide. We applaud you for making school a priority and supporting your child in academic excellence. And we are grateful to be able to share this evening of celebration with you and your child. Students earning a 3.0 or above last year for the first time will receive an academic letter that can be worn on a letterman's jacket. Second-year winners will receive an engraved plaque, and third-year academic award winners will earn a medal that should be worn at graduation with their caps and gowns. It's a short way away, June 1st. So at this time, I would like to ask Mrs. Gretz, our first speaker, to take the podium.
Good evening. Tonight I have the pleasure of speaking for both Cameron Hinton and Michael Lyons. If you two would please come up to the stage. So they both asked me to speak for them at different times. I had no idea they were like best buddies, that they worked together outside of school. And if you look at them standing right next to one another, if they had the same hair color, they might even look sort of alike. So it's kind of cool that they're up here together, right here. Michael Lyons, if you would take a step forward, thank you. Michael, if you know him, is one of the most fly under the radar students that you will meet. He does what he's supposed to do, like all the time. He gets good grades, he has great friends, obviously, he makes good choices, he gets involved in quality activities like leadership and youth group. Michael's planning to attend Kent State University through the ROTC program next year and a major in accounting. Last year, many of you may not know this, but he was a standout in his accounting class, voted best in class. Did you want me to say that, Michael? You wanted me to be real low-key tonight. Right, thank you, Mrs. Shore. And also spent time tutoring others that needed help. 2 years ago, he came to me to let me know that his family was moving, but that he really wanted to continue at RHS and graduate with this class. I am so glad that he was able to continue schooling here and will be proud to have him as a Ravenna High School graduate. He is truly a young man of integrity. He is also an observant young man as well. He was nice enough today to point out that the toys I keep in my office are somewhat stressful. Mrs. Gretz, did you realize these toys are stressing me out? Your office is supposed to be a stress-relieving place. And very nicely let me know that Mrs. Marazzi and I were twinning today. So thanks for that, Michael. Like to be twins with the boss. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Cameron Hinton. I remember meeting Cam when he started at Ravenna as a freshman. He was sweet, nice, respectful, sort of quiet, with lots of potential. I can't believe I'm standing up here speaking for him as a senior, because it seemed like yesterday that we were making his freshman schedule. I'm happy to let you know that Cam has exceeded my expectations for reaching his potential. He has been a very active part of Ravenna High School. He came right in and got involved in football, basketball, and later track. He actively participates in leadership, student council, Ravenna Youth Council, and Portage County Educational Service. Cam has been such a great addition to the Ravenna student body. He is the epitome of Raven pride, displaying all the characteristics, plus he's sort of fun, and that helps too. It was very sweet this year. Cam was voted onto the homecoming court, and so was his brother. When I talked to him about it, he said he was surprised that he was voted on, and yeah, that was cool. But he was really most excited for his brother to be voted on as well, and that was cool. But that's just Cam. Lastly, I did a breast cancer walk with Cam last year, early on a weekend morning. He talked about he had been up for hours, how he got up and he had made breakfast, that he wakes up often to make breakfast, pancakes especially. So tomorrow morning, Cam, we're all coming to your house for pancakes. Congratulations. And Miss Giddens says she's pulling for you.
Before I award both of these young men, I do want to say that last year, Michael Lyons should have received his second-year award, and due to an oversight, he was not invited nor placed on the program. So, Michael, it's not funny. This year, Michael, not only will you be receiving your third-year justly deserved award, we will also be giving you our Maycobla second-year award. Our next speaker is Mr. McBee. There's a time limit.
I don't know why she would say that. First of all, I want to apologize to Mrs. Marazzi. I messed up her routine right away. About a week after I retired, I managed to tear up my knee. Waited 2 months to get anything done. Had surgery 7 weeks ago. Stairs. I never thought about stairs until now. I can't do stairs yet. So I told her, listen, I can't do those stairs. I got to come in at the side. And she gave me the usual dirty look because I had messed up her routine, and I get that. You know, having run a lot of events, I get that. You have a routine. Olivia Chin. Olivia really changed my routine. When I walked off this stage last June 4th after the Letter Winners Banquet, I, of course, thought I would never be back. Certainly in a capacity like this, I'm thrilled to be here tonight because of the fact that this is the academic awards night, and after all, that's what we're in school for. All of the other stuff pretty much is window dressing. Olivia and I have known each other since she was a 7th grader because of the fact that she runs cross country and track, and if you've been to any of our track meets, I'm pretty heavily involved in those, and so I've watched every home track meet Olivia has run her entire career here. She and I are both distance people. I was a distance runner here at Ravenna, both cross country and track, And we have a certain mentality, which is you compete against yourself if you want to be any good. Yes, there are other people in the race. Yes, you have teammates. But if you want to be any good as a distance runner, you compete against yourself first. And secondly, you think to yourself, I'm going to feel awful at the end of this race if I don't feel absolutely awful. I haven't worked hard enough. And when you have friends who run on the team and they're complaining, they finish way behind you and they're complaining that they feel awful, I used to tell them, maybe you ought to run a little faster and you wouldn't feel as awful as long. So Olivia and I connect in that way. Both of us earned the right to compete at the state meet. She did it 3 times, I did it 3 times, and I trust you, she'll look better 50 years from now than I do tonight. That was 50 years ago for me. It's a production now. The state meet in Columbus is a production. It's a big deal. They charge admission. There are lots of spectators. When I ran cross country, there was nobody there, not even parents usually, including mine. We went down on a Saturday morning. We ran the race at 10. There was always snow on the ground, and I hate cold weather. And then we came back and we had basketball practice in the afternoon. So this high school event is a lot bigger deal now than it was 50 years ago. We also ran track distance events. Olivia, however, I want you to know, she's won a lot of races in both cross country and track in her career. I never won one time. There was a kid in my class that was better than I was, and I never beat him in either sport. Came close a couple of times. I think that's because he let me. I also found out that Olivia made a wrong turn in an invitational this year. I did that too. So we have that in common. That was the only day that the kid that was better than I was not in school. I was leading the race, and they told me, you got to go all the way back and come back because you made a wrong turn. I ended up finishing 3rd, and I know there was a penalty for Olivia. What's more important, however, she's done great things. She just finished 12th in the state cross country meet, Division I, this past Saturday. That means she is an all-Ohio athlete. But high school sports is great and it's fun, and it might help you get somewhere in college. All the other stuff we do in high schools is fun too. But what you do in the classroom is what really counts once you walk out the door and start in the real world. Olivia, 3.840 GPA. That was at the end of her junior year. She is 6th in a class of 201 students. She's been in the National Honor Society for 2 years, 11 and 12. PTC Scholar Athlete Award in cross country. You need a 3.4 plus you need a letter 4 consecutive years. PTC Scholar Athlete in basketball last year as a junior. PTC Scholar Athlete in track 9, 10, and 11. And I'm assuming that she'll win that award again this year. She still has a track season to go, which ought to be very interesting. She also won the Ohio Track Cross Country Coaches Association Academic All-Ohio in cross country, 3.5, and you have to participate in the state meet. She's done that probably 3 times because she'll win that again this year. She went to the state track meet last year in the 1600 meter run, and she was also Academic All-Ohio in track. What more can I say? Not only does this girl do well as an athlete, she gets it. And what I mean by getting it is you got to do well in the classroom because that's what's going to count in the adult world. Olivia, I want to thank you I just happened to see her in the hall and she asked me to do this. This is an absolute pleasure and I'm thrilled to be here. Now I even went and got a haircut. I haven't had a shirt with a collar on since last June. I wasn't sure. I told her I wasn't sure. I'm not sure I can remember how to tie my tie, but I did. I was able to do that. Thanks, Olivia. I appreciate the fact that you asked me to do this. Thank you. And now I'm going to hobble across the stage and hobble to the back, because I'm old.
And you still don't know what a time limit means. Next, I'd like to ask Mrs. Schuer to come up. She will be speaking for Bailey Cross, Mason McLeod, and Madison Spagnola.
All right, I'm doing this in the order that Mrs. Kaiser has placed these in folder. Yeah. It's been my privilege to have all three of these wonderful young people in my classes over the past 4 years. They have exceeded expectations academically, and they have just been great assets to Ravenna High School. It's been my privilege to have had Bailey Cross in my classes over the last 4 years. Bailey is always quick to respond to questions, first to offer assistance to anyone needing help, and Bailey has never been afraid to accept a challenge. I'd like to think I played a little part in Bailey's desire to become an attorney, as he participated in mock trials in a moot court setting, as a witness, as a judge, and helped to develop the various other parts of each case. And in his second year business and personal law, further accepted one of the most challenging assignments that I had presented to a group of second-year law students. Bailey always has a smile, whether I see him in the hallway, in the classroom, or in the community. He always makes me proud to say he's been one of my students. From the time he entered high school, Bailey made a decision to be a positive influence and make a difference within his class and within Ravenna High School. Academically, he was first in his freshman class and remained in the top 10 during his sophomore and junior years, where he was elected as class president for the past 3 years. Bailey was elected into National Honor Society in his junior year and admitted into the pre-professional law program for his sophomore and junior years, and was admitted into the leadership group at that time also. He has served on student council for his 4 years at RHS as well. During his junior year, he was chosen as a participant in Buckeye Boy State at The Ohio State University, which provides the experience of living in a college environment, the learning of leadership and management skills to serve you in any career path that you might choose. The formation of friendships which may last a lifetime, and that combined with teaching you about a vital part of every citizen's life and how our Ohio government functions and operates. Bailey challenged himself consistently by taking all top-tier classes and post-secondary classes, where he has received high honors in each of those classes. Bailey Cross is a young man of integrity, and it is with great pride that I am honored to speak on his behalf tonight. When Mason McLeod was a freshman, and I would see the academic challenge team assembling for practice when Mr. Terry Kecknick was here, I sometimes stood near the doorway so that I could listen to all of the intelligence being exuded with the answers to the questions asked of that team. Mason McLeod was one of those students, and I did not realize the depths of his knowledge at that time until he was my student. I have always enjoyed reading his essays and the answers to his extended response questions. Mason is a young man who knows how to think and to convey those thoughts in writing. He speaks both articulately and eloquently. One of my proudest moments last year was having Mason as a student, and based on skills acquired through the study of entrepreneurship in our business administration class, He and a teammate were given the challenge to create and build a business that Mason and Chase rose to that challenge. Of all of the plans built and developed by that class during that time, Mason's and his teammates' plan was one of only 3 plans chosen by members of the visiting Small Business Administration of the Portage Summit County and the representatives from Kent State University that we worked with throughout the semester in building those plans. These representatives came to our class as a part of the Shark Tank to hear the student presentations in the spring. They took Mason's plan and told him his plan was that good that if he ever decided to go through with it, they would help it become reality. Since Mason was a freshman at Ravenna High School, he has been an active participant in Academic Challenge. He further was a part of the drama club and leadership during his sophomore and junior years. He served as a student advisor for Portage Youth Leadership during 9th and 10th grade. He was selected for National Honor Society as a junior and continues with National Honor Society this year in the office as treasurer. Mason also volunteers through NHS in the Bible education program. Mason was also proudly chosen as a National Merit Scholar. Another young man of integrity, Mason McLeod, I am proud to speak on your behalf tonight.
I know how this microphone thing works. I'm prepared.
If there was ever a student who was always prepared, always has the right answer when called upon, seldom misses a day of school, is focused, and who can be counted on to offer assistance to a teacher or a fellow student who asks, it is Madison Spagnola. I first met Madison when she was a shy, quiet freshman. She has taken about all the business classes offered at RHS, and her intended collegiate major is business, primarily accounting, where she has excelled and exceeded the required expectations to pass that class. Over many years of teaching, I've learned that just because a student may appear to be shy and quiet in class doesn't speak to their confidence, courage, or tenacity. As a law student in her freshman year of high school, Madison successfully battled and won the jury's verdict in favor of her client against an aggressive male student defense attorney in our annual mock trial. Further, Madison has served as a member of leadership since her freshman year, and as a junior served as secretary of leadership, and as a senior currently serves as president. She's been an active member of the Key Club during her junior and senior year, as well as participating in youth leadership Portage County during her junior year. Maddie was invited to join National Honor Society as a junior and is still an active member in her senior year. In addition, during her junior year, she participated in the dual credit program, and as a senior is actively enrolled as a post-secondary student through Kent State University. Madison is an altruistic young woman filled with determination and a desire to succeed. She will make a difference in the business world with her candor, her rectitude, and perseverance, along with her virtue. It is my privilege to know Maddie and to have watched her to continue to grow into a promising young woman these past years, academically and socially. I am so proud to speak on her behalf this evening.
Our next speaker will be Mr. Greathouse, who will be speaking for Celeste Gilbo and Erica Thomas.
I feel like I should get a cup of coffee while I try and navigate up the stairs here. Any time now, ladies.
Why would you be speaking for them?
I kind of feel like one should have came up this set of stairs, one up the other set, and should have raced to the middle. Close to it. All right. So For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mr. Greathouse. I'm the athletic trainer for the school district. And I'm very privileged to be up here tonight because, as Mr. McBee already hit on, it's not often that teachers get to speak at an event like this. So I'm very privileged that both of these young ladies asked me to speak on their behalf. Many of you might be thinking, well, what does this guy know about the academic accomplishments of these two young ladies? And to be quite honest with you, before tonight, I did not know their GPAs. I did not know what classes they took. But I do know what kind of young people they are, and that is what I want to focus on tonight while talking about them. So as an athletic trainer, you get to know student athletes on a different level. So I feel like I may know these student athletes even better than some of their teachers know them. Just because on a daily basis, I get to see how they deal with success, how they deal with adversity, how they treat their opponents, and how they work with their teammates, even the teammates that they may not necessarily like. So I feel like I know them pretty well and can speak on their behalf. I also feel like these things, these characteristics that they show, are probably as important, and maybe even more important than, than the good grades that they get. And it's definitely going to be a good indicator of how successful they're going to be after high school. So I want to start with Erica. Erica, if you want to crutch forward, go right ahead. All right. I'll just do. All right. Okay. So believe it or not, I have known Erica since she was a 4th grader. That's a long time, Erica. I first met Erica when she was a water girl for the freshman football team. And that was my first year here at Ravenna, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into on the sidelines. But what I can remember most about Erica is that she showed determination, and that's a word that I would use to describe her, determined. Because even as a 9-year-old at the time, I could tell she was going to be successful by the way she ran up and down the sidelines, back and forth, filling up all the water bottles, making sure everybody got a drink and nobody went thirsty. The water bottles and the carrier that she had probably weighed just as much as she did at the time, but she hustled up and down the sideline and she showed me determination. Several years later, she was a student athlete herself, and as you can see, she suffered some injuries over her years. But it's her determination, again, that got her through those injuries, and that I believe will get her through this injury as well. Erica's the kind of person that comes in every day, does what she's supposed to do. She does more than you ask her to do. She's always friendly, she always has something nice to say, and she's a pleasure to work with. So she will get through this injury as well. She's the kind of person that wants to get better each day, and that's what I admire about her. She has good work ethic, she has good drive, and she has a desire for self-improvement. And that really reflects through in her academic success. I have not known Celeste as long as I have known Erica. Celeste, you can crush forward as well. But there's something you have to know about athletic trainers and what we do. Like I said, we get to know our athletes on a different level, and it doesn't take long to get to know who they really are. And a lot of times you're meeting them for the first time on the field when they've suffered a significant injury and they think their life is over and they're crying, and they have people in the audience that are taking snapshots of that picture and giving it to you, so you get to relive it every single day. But you meet these student athletes when they're at their most vulnerable, and they open up to you when you spend hours and hours and hours and hours helping them with their rehab. All right, so I feel like even though I've only known Celeste a little while, I know her pretty well. We have talked about life. We have talked about her boyfriend. I'm not sure if he's in the audience or not, but we have talked about you. So we've talked about her love for animals, dogs especially, not cats. Not cats at all, right? You hate cats. And we have also discussed what pair of heels she was going to wear to homecoming. From what I hear, you made the right choice, so congratulations. The one thing I've learned most about Celeste, though, is she is extremely humble. She has numerous academic accomplishments that you guys probably don't know about because she's not going around telling you about them. She, again, is one of those that flies under the radar, but she still has an impact in the classroom and on the soccer field as a quiet leader and a captain. Celeste is very intelligent, even though she may not want to admit it to you, but I think the thing that I can say most about her is that she is an extremely kind and considerate person, and I think that goes a long way, along with her academics. So in closing, I want to thank both Erica and Celeste for asking me to do this tonight. Like I said, I am very honored. I wish you luck in the future, and I also want to thank the parents out there for all your hard work over the years shaping these young people. I appreciate your attention and for the opportunity to speak tonight, so thank you.
Put these on. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Mrs. Conyers-Rizzo up to the stage. She will be speaking for Lindsey Leitner and Christopher Long.
Short version.
They need to be Mr. McBee and go out the side.
Hey, they're tough.
Okay, all right. I have known Lindsey for the past 2 years. She's been in my biology class and now in my AP biology class, as well as participated in Science Olympiad and the Marathon, another academic competition. I've seen Lindsey challenge herself with difficult coursework and achieve academic success. While at the same time, she's been involved in Academic Challenge for 3 years, Science Olympiad, this will be her 3rd year, National Honor Society, 2 years, Leadership, Drama Club for 4 years, where she holds an office, and this will be her 2nd year in the Marathon. As I thought about the diversity of knowledge, talents, and abilities required for each of these activities, I realized that Lindsey is a Renaissance woman. She is a person whose expertise spans a significant number of subject areas, from science, math, and history to the arts. But to help you know Lindsey, I would like to share a few of my personal experiences with her. Lindsey has shown an interest in the environment and ecology. So when I heard about an opportunity to go to Forester Camp, I shared it with her and with others. Lindsey applied, was accepted, and was very excited. I asked her to get in touch with me after she had gone, since I wouldn't see her during the summer. I shared my phone number and expected nothing from it, or maybe a small text that said, "This was great." Instead, Lindsey sent me the longest text message ever written. It included a day-by-day description of all the things she had done at camp and everything she had learned. She was excited and returned to camp for a 2nd summer. We're hoping that all her knowledge will help us to beat Kent in the Envirothon competition this year. Another experience I've had with Lindsey is that she is an avid reader, or that I've learned about her. One day she was telling me about a book that she had read and she really liked. She said she would loan it to me. It was a very good book. I asked her for another recommendation. Rather than give me another book, she brought me a whole shopping bag full of books. And not only did she carry them to school, she went through and summarized each one for me so I could make the best choice. Look at this woman, young woman. When you look at her, does the word bugs come to mind? Lindsey is a medalist in the Science Olympiad entomology competition. She spent hours memorizing orders of insects, characteristics, and examples just because it was a challenge and she thought they were cool. Her hard work and drive have resulted in excellence in the classroom, as well as success in academic challenge and Science Olympiad competitions. Lindsey is planning to pursue a business degree after high school. The respect and passion for life that she has acquired through her involvement in studies in ecology and the environment will be an important part of the adult she becomes. And as she leaves RSHS, I hope to get another one of those really long texts that let me know how her future is unfolding. It is a real pleasure to know Lindsey. I have a favorite TV show, and it's called The Big Bang. If you aren't familiar with the show, it's about 4 friends who have PhD degrees and 1 engineer. They all do research at the same university. They are an extremely intelligent group of young men. The most interesting character is a guy named Sheldon. Chris Long reminds me of Sheldon. Sheldon is very intelligent, and yet he is the one who always offers a warm beverage if somebody is upset. Like Sheldon, Chris is a blend of these qualities: intelligence and kindness. His thirst to learn is never satisfied, and he is always asking questions and researching topics that interest him. Yet, he is the first to ask if I need any help. As I thought about Chris's accomplishments and his extracurricular activities at RHS, his involvement in academic challenge stands out. Chris has been a varsity team member for 4 years. To be part of an academic challenge team, you need to have a broad range of knowledge in many subject areas. And not only is he a member of the team, Chris was named as the most valuable team member last year. Chris enjoys competition. Along with academic challenge, he has competed for 3 years in Science Olympiad, and this will be his 2nd year in Envirothon. Besides academics, Chris has a love of music. He has been a band member for 4 years, where he plays the saxophone, and a member of chamber choir for 3 years. Chris has so many interests and abilities, it will be interesting to see what his career path will be. One option he has mentioned is to return to RHS as a history teacher. He said we could be colleagues. As we continue in the school year, Chris will compete 1 more time in Academic Challenge, 1 more time in Science Olympiad, and Envirothon. Chris, I hope that you experience success and find enjoyment in all of these things. It's a pleasure to know you.
In Academic Challenge, our rival is not Kent, it is Aurora. And we intend to beat them this year.
Our next speaker is Mr. Adamant, who will be speaking for Katie Mills, Kira Sowers, and Lisa Young.
Good evening. As I have often stated, and will state again now, being the band director of both the high school and middle school is both a blessing and a curse. Blessing, because I get to work with most of my students for 6 straight years. I get to watch them grow as individuals, and I get to be part of that growth. The curse is that with 6 years of contact, I grow fond of them. And when they leave the nest, good, when they leave the nest, as they all must do, I miss them. Do me a favor, however, and keep that a secret. I don't want them to know that I actually like them. All three of these young ladies that you see before you are true leaders. You see, we're a little short-staffed with the marching band this year, and they have become my assistants. Before every rehearsal, performance, or class period, one or more of them will approach me and ask, what can I do to get things started? Or what are we working on today? At the end of every rehearsal, performance, or class period, one or more of them will ask, is there anything you need me to do before I leave? Or, I'm getting ready to go, is there anything that still needs to be done? They're all part of an excellent leadership team, and yet each of them brings a unique and individualized personality to the table. Lindsey is an extremely self-motivated individual that I believe enjoys taking charge of things much larger than herself. Many of you know, many of you probably don't know, you might have read, Lisa is an equestrian. Therefore, she leads and takes charge of an animal that is 10 times her size. She is the field commander of this year's marching band. And in being so, she leads and takes charge of an animal that is 60 times her size. Some leaders will stand before you and tell you to follow them. Some leaders will get behind you, encourage you, and give you the push you need to achieve, sometimes making you the leader. Some leaders will stand beside you and give you the strength you need to achieve. The best leaders will do all of these things as is needed, or when most appropriate to do so. I've actually seen Lisa employ all of these leadership techniques. I've witnessed her telling the band, making them, demanding them to follow her. And she has succeeded. I've witnessed Lisa encouraging someone to try. Because, as she said, she knew they could do it if they just tried. Therefore, succeeding by helping someone else succeed. I have witnessed, and even been the subject of, Lisa standing beside someone, giving them strength and saying to them, all right, we got this. In doing so, she has shared success. For all of this, I say to Lisa, thank you and congratulations. Katie Mills is a definite leader. She doesn't need a title or a position of authority in order to take charge and make things happen. She's not the field commander. She's not the band captain. What is she? She is a senior, a veteran that is proud of and proud to be a part of her band. A section leader with compassion and integrity. I try to teach my students to own everything that they do, both good and bad. Katie does just that, and with a very charming quality that few will take notice of. When Katie does something great, or something that she has every reason to be proud of, she'll have a hard time making eye contact with you. After the very first performance of this season, Katie took it upon herself, with minimal help, to make sure all the uniforms were hung properly, because she knew whoever didn't hang their uniform properly would have the task of staying after the next performance to make sure they were all hung properly. She knew it was important to me. She knew it needed to be done, and she was trying to keep any of her fellow bandmates out of trouble. When I tried to tell her what a great job she had done, what a nice thing that was to do, and thank her for what she had done, she made very brief eye contact with me, and with a proud little smile on her face, said thank you, tried to move on to anything else that needed to be done. This characteristic shows her humble side. I know that she sometimes tries to make us believe that she is not at all humble, but it's an act. Deep down inside, she is in fact proud of herself, as she should be, but she doesn't want to seem conceited or arrogant. Oh, she'll tell you otherwise, but it's just an act. Remember, I did say she owns everything that she does, and Katie is not perfect, although she may tell you otherwise. When she makes a mistake or does something stupid, such as in week 6 or 7 of the season, when, because she had something she had to do the next morning and was in a hurry, she was the one that didn't hang her uniform up properly. She looked me straight in the eye and owned it, and wanted to know how to fix it or at least make it better. This I see as true maturity, and something that I fail to see in many people that I come in contact with that are more than twice her age. Congratulations. Last but not least, Kira Sowers. Kira is the type of leader who shows you how it should be done. She truly leads by example. She puts 100% of herself into the task or performance at hand. She will learn her part, her drill, your drill. She actually learned the trombone solo for one of our selections by ear, just in case it was ever needed. When showtime comes, her focus is like a laser beam. She gets in the zone, she stays there. She'll give 100% of her mind and body, ready to cover your mishap or miscue if she can, and certainly making sure her performance is without a doubt as perfect as she can make it. She is so attentive to the performance that she will block out the audience. She will avoid any and all other distractions. She is, in fact, so focused that she will sometimes forget to breathe. We're working on it. I once told Kira that any complex situation can usually be broken down into a multitude of simplistic issues. And if you're not sure where to begin when attacking these smaller, simpler issues, take a breath, assess the situation, and begin. Also remember to enjoy the successes. In the music department, we rarely get the opportunity to bask in the glow of a great performance before we begin working on the next performance. Even as you receive recognition this evening, you probably have homework for tomorrow. Classes will resume at 7:15. Please enjoy the moment. Before you continue to maintain your academic success, take a moment to take a breath. Congratulations, and remember to breathe. Again, I'm very proud of these three young ladies. I'm very appreciative of these three young ladies, very fond of these three young ladies. And yes, if you can keep a secret, I will miss them when they leave the nest. But that won't be for another 6 or 7 months, and we still have a lot of work to do. So.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mrs. Reedy, and she will be speaking for Jaime Pitera. Mrs. Reedy is one of the cosmetology instructors at Maplewood.
Excuse me. I've had the opportunity to have Jaime Pitera in my cosmetology program at Maplewood Career Center for the past 2 years. I have my students junior year and senior year, so I get to know them really well. I don't have 40-minute periods either. My classes are almost 3 hours in duration, so we spend a lot of time together. One of the first things I realized about Jaime during her junior year is that she doesn't do drama. That, in my world, is a big deal, okay? My senior class consists of 22 female students, almost 3 hours every day, all girls, 3 hours every day. So when a student comes along like Jaime, I say hallelujah and thank you God. I loved her immediately. Clearly, she's a good student academically, or we wouldn't be here tonight. But she possesses so many other important qualities that make her special. Jaime is the one student who will stay after school and ask if I need any help. She's done this several times. Whether it's finishing a client because the student who was with the client had to catch the bus, or cleaning up, putting supplies away, whatever it is. She's the one, what do you need? Can I help you? Does anything need done? And I really appreciate that. I personally have found this to be rare. These types of behaviors will endear her to future employers also. She's also passionate about improving her skills in lab. She'll continue to work on a procedure until she masters it. She shows pride in her work. She's also a problem solver. This is especially appealing to me. Many times students will point out problems and leave it at that. Jaime will usually have a suggestion on how to correct the problem, and they're usually very good suggestions. I get excited for her because I know all of these things are going to make her very successful in the cosmetology industry, but more importantly, all of these things are going to make her very successful in life. I know Jaime plans to go to college and pursue a degree in education. She may change careers several times throughout her life. The life skills and qualities that she possesses will carry her through any endeavor she may have. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank her parents. I know your support and guidance play a huge role in the development of your child, and we as educators get to reap the benefits of knowing and working with these special students. So thank you very much. I don't know where her dad went. Oh, he's back there. He had another comment for me to throw in here, but I chose not to share that right now. And I have another comment. This is actually from Mrs. Marilyn Berry.
Oh,
She's Jaime's psychology teacher at Maplewood. She said she loves having Jaime in class. She actually found her a little intimidating when they first met, which I don't understand, but that's okay. But she said it's a good thing that she's going to be going into education. She also said she takes her cosmetology lab very seriously and is very open about discussing the pitfalls of Mrs. Berry's hair and her lack of hairstyling skills. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Toth, who will be speaking for Kaitlyn Turpak.
why do I always have to follow after someone that's petite, though? Like, seriously?
You can't take the mic off.
I know, I'm like, okay. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Okay, thank you. I officially met Kaitlyn Turpak this year in my first period trigonometry class. She was always smiling, even at 7:15 a.m. every single day. She sits with her group of friends and is always very quiet. To start, there's 3 things I know about Kaitlyn Turpak. She loves soccer, her family, and friends. Let me start with soccer. In my classroom, I have a birthday bulletin board, and when it was Kaitlyn's birthday during the month of September, I made her a very simple design. So the next day, she comes in and complains that she really wanted a soccer ball for her birthday. Now, mind you, I was proud of the creation I had already made, but she insisted that she wanted a soccer ball. I told her I cannot draw a soccer ball. She said, well, just print one off the computer. So needless to say, the next day I print one from the computer, and there was this conspiracy against this whole thing. Kelsey Cross was involved too. I called it the soccer ball conspiracy, and it was the first week of school. Needless to say, Kaitlyn won and got her soccer ball. Next, let's talk about family. Kaitlyn loves her family. When I found out I was doing this speech for her, the first thing I did was met with her sister Kaylee, and I asked for dirt on her. Her sister had 0 dirt to give me. She said they had a great relationship and they get along very well. So I kept digging. I also asked some of Kaitlyn's friends. Well, first of all, on the first week of school, they had to tell me something interesting about themselves. Kaitlyn mentioned that she is not permitted to drink 2% milk. I thought it was odd, but that was what she mentioned. So apparently 2% is the devil at the Turpak house. We're just going to leave it at that. Next, I still needed more dirt. So I went to her group of friends. This is when I found out the real Kaitlyn Turpak. Kaitlyn's friends informed me of her love for perfume, and apparently she loves spraying it all over herself, and she even makes songs about it. And I seriously know one of the songs, but I'm not going to sing it. Like, we'll save it for tomorrow. We'll save it for She loves her family, friends, and soccer. I'm lucky to start my day every morning with Kaitlyn in my first period class. She is a great friend to her group of girls. Kaitlyn loves life, and you can see it in her positive attitude, the joy in her face, and her upbeat personality every single day. It is my honor getting to know the real Kaitlyn Turpak. Hashtag the real MVP. Congratulations.
I just want to congratulate, and I know you do, one more time, our third-year academic report.